Well, here we go. Another workout in the Igniting Hope Beliefs Gym. Steve Backlund here. Hey, we're going to work out our beliefs in today's podcast about our beliefs about other people. We have beliefs about God, ourselves, other people, circumstances, the decisions we've made and are making. But it's this other people belief that is one of the greatest things that we get to work out. Great leaders, great influencers have great beliefs about the people in their lives. They don't ignore problems. They don't empower people equally, or people don't have equal access to them. But they understand that what they believe is going to be a key factor in people rising up to that. As a pastor, I would work out my beliefs and say, man, I lead great people, generous people, committed people, people with healthy families, people who have good finances, people who are evangelistic, people who operate in the gifts of the Holy Spirit, people of revelation. Now, as I worked those beliefs out, I started to believe them more. Imagine that. Imagine those beliefs were strengthened. And so this is a key in family. It's a key in leadership, in life. And today's podcast message is called When Helping Doesn't Help. When helping doesn't help. Now, when we believe that people can't do it, or they're incapable of change, or that they're victims, and those beliefs will actually work against often what we actually want to see happen. Now, let me try to explain that. So in the blog that goes along with this podcast, I write, have you ever helped someone only to realize later that your help actually kept them stuck? Has anyone helped you, but it just prolonged a dysfunction? Most people don't enable because they have bad hearts. They enable because they have compassionate hearts. And I'm talking about enabling, where we allow people to continue in behaviors, and we actually are one of the sources of why they continue. We enable because we have compassionate hearts. We see someone hurting and instinctively want to make life easier. Compassion reflects the heart of God, yet without wisdom, our help can unintentionally become enabling by removing responsibilities that God intends people to carry themselves, and they have the power to do it. Instead of strengthening people, we can actually postpone the very breakthrough that we're praying for. Now, here's a great question to ask as we lead, parent, pastor, and relate to people. Is what I'm doing empowering this person or making it easier for them to stay the same? Now, certainly we know many government programs which are well-intentioned. Many of those programs actually make it easier for them to stay the same, for people to stay the same. Enabling removes responsibilities that God intends people to carry. Empowerment helps people become strong enough to carry those responsibilities. One of the clearest examples of empowerment is in John 5, where Jesus finds a man laying next to the pool of Bethsaida who's been lame for 38 years, and he asks him seemingly a ridiculous question. Do you want to be made well? Do you want to be made well? Well, that seems like a no-brainer. I know the Lord's asked me at times, hey, so to speak, Steve, do you want to be made well? I said, well, Lord, let me get back to you on that. Let me think about that, because if I'm made well, I've got to get rid of my excuses. And I'm not sure I want to get rid of my excuses. And so when the man was asked that, do you want to be made well? He responded, instead of simply saying yes, the man immediately explained why he couldn't change. I have no man to put me into the pool. His focus was on his obstacles rather than God's possibility. And Jesus didn't argue with the excuses, nor did he carry him to the water. Instead, he spoke words that invited responsibility. Rise, take up your bed and walk. Jesus wasn't being insensitive, he was being empowering. He believed God's grace was greater than the man's limitation, and he invited him to participate in the miracle. That's what empowering people do. They don't ignore difficulties, but neither do they allow difficulties to become someone's permanent identity. Let me say that again. Empowering people do not ignore difficulties, but neither do they let difficulties become someone's permanent identity. And this is why the belief you can do it, you can change, there's always a solution. 1 Corinthians 10:13, what a great verse. It says, no temptation has come upon you except which is common to man, and God is faithful, who will not allow you to be tempted beyond what you can bear, but with the temptation will provide the way of escape that you may be able to bear up under it. And it's this idea that there's a way of escape, there's always a solution that causes us to be a hope person. That's one of the most hope-filled verses in the whole Bible, that people don't experience something beyond what they're able to handle with God's grace. Now again, that belief as a leader, as a parent, as a friend, as a person in society, that belief that there's a solution for people to rise up out of what they're in is powerful. And the more we strengthen that belief, it's not that we're not insensitive, it's not that we don't help the poor, it's not that we don't create places for people to heal and get well, but we believe there's a solution. And that solution causes us to be more empowering than enabling. Now, there's subtle ways that we may enable others. And these ways often feel very loving, they feel very compassionate, but often entrench people or just continue the negative spirals. And here's some examples of it. When we're working on someone's problem harder than they are working on it. That's often enabling. Financially supporting people who are not committed to growth or change. Now, money's the big factor. With adult children, with others, we tend, even as governments, we tend to want to throw money at situations. But it's often the cutoff of money that helps people actually come to the bottom and actually want to get real help. I mean, to the real issues of their lives. And listen to this. Things often need to get worse before they get better. And if we're always preventing people, like our children, we're just protecting them from failure or other people, and we're preventing, often, again, we are part of the problem. Let me continue in my list. Continually making excuses for unhealthy choices. And sometimes we're just flat out embarrassed about what people in our life are doing, and we don't want it to explode or go even worse, and we make excuses. Financially support people in their dysfunction. Avoiding difficult conversations because we fear conflict. Or we fear people's anger when we begin cutting off the help that actually is contributing to it going on longer. Protecting people, including our children, from failure or consequences. Failure is a good teacher. Pain, I know this. God's plan of us learning wisdom is not pain. Romans 2:4, it's the goodness of God that leads us to repentance. But pain is part of it. All of us who are listening have learned things through pain. Oh, I'm not going to put my hand on the hot stove. Whoops. If we just keep removing stoves or keep in schools, let everybody pass us. We want everybody to feel good right now. Many of life's lessons will not be learned. And becoming the person everyone depends on instead of developing people who can stand on their own. One question we ask is, will this make this person stronger or weaker by what I'm doing? The Holy Spirit never enables us. He convicts without condemning, tells us the truth, and continually empowers us to grow. He believes we can do it. We can change. He believes in what the grace of God can accomplish in our lives. I want to believe in people without rescuing them. I want to establish healthy boundaries without losing hope. I want to continually communicate. I believe you can do it because God's grace is greater than your current struggles. You can do it. Helping, hear this, helping becomes unhealthy or helping becomes unhelpful when it removes responsibilities and sends the message, I don't believe you're capable of change. Now, this doesn't even apply to, we can relate this to major situations, people addicted to drugs, people who are constantly making poor financial choices. But this relates even to people in our life who are not in these categories of just crisis, but there's just levels of dysfunction. Listen, the belief, I don't believe you are capable of change, that is a core. I'm really looking at that in my own life. Where does that manifest? Because that's not a hope-filled belief. Enabling focuses on today's comfort. Empowerment focuses on tomorrow's freedom. Closing with this, let me say it again. Enabling focuses on today's comfort. Empowerment focuses on tomorrow's freedom. Our goal isn't to make life easier for people. Our goal is to make people stronger for life. And this is really when helping doesn't help, and as we work out our beliefs about people and even our own selves and our fear of people being angry, our fear of seeing people fail, our fear of that if we don't step in all the time and protect people from the consequences of their action, that their life is going to blow apart. That fear the Lord is just eradicating right now. I can do it. You can do it. Yes, we're going to help. Yes, we're going to work on a plan. I tell people this, hey, what's your plan? Because if I'm going to invest my time and my money into this, what's your plan? Okay, how do we know that you're actually executing it? And that's key. We're not going to work on people's problems harder than they're working on them. My, oh my. Thank you for listening or watching this on our YouTube channel. And this has been a good one. If you liked it, hey, why don't you send it to somebody else? And always, we love hearing from you at info@ignitinghope.com. If you ever have a comment on these blogs and podcasts that you want to make sure that we hear, info@ignitinghope.com. Hey, just a couple things that are coming up. We moved our one-day Backland Leadership conference, our online conference. We moved that to August 29th because of my wife Wendy's brother passed away, and so we're going to a funeral. Thanks for your prayers for that, for the family. Wendy's a part of 6 children, and this is her older brother. And so because of that, we've postponed it until the end of August 29th. And by the way, if you're looking for something more, and takes my greatest leadership, well, most of my greatest leadership teachings. Wendy's going to be there. Connie Jones is going to be there, our Igniting Hope team. And it's going to be a great day. Even if you can't be there live, many of you, that's a Saturday, but you can get it and you can listen to it just like you listen to these podcasts, but you can just, for a month or however long you want to just receive some great leadership, and leadership is influence. So how do we influence ourselves, others, and et cetera? And then also Connie Jones is starting her course, 5-6 week course called Reigning in Life. Connie is just such a great leader, been with us for so long. Many of you know Connie and her husband Aaron. And then also we're doing our Backland Leadership Academy starting in September. You know, one of the things that I like about it's a 9-month online, about 5-6 hours a week, made for people on the go. You can find out about it at ignitinghopeacademy.com, as you can find the one-day conference, leadership conference, ignitinghopeacademy.com. But one of the things that's about the Backland Leadership Academy is that every student does a dream project. And I remember that this will be our 3rd year coming up. And I remember our first year, and we had similar results this last year, but our 3rd year we had 36 graduates. And we had 30 of them write a book as a dream project. No, excuse me, it was 20. We had other dream projects as well. There were 20 books that were written, and then other dream projects of online courses, just a business started, etc. And that's a big part of helping people overcome passivity, procrastination, perfectionism, and poverty mindsets. And the whole academy is just 9 months of good news, feeding on good news, and being in connection with me in a very, very strong way, and our team, Connie Jones and our team. That's just a great thing. ignitinghopeacademy.com, the Backland Leadership Academy. Well. Going to be in Edmonds, Oklahoma. Wendy's going to be in Arizona. These are all coming up. I will be in Lewiston, Idaho, Richland, Washington, be in Texas, Wyoming, Vancouver, British Columbia, and Wendy's going to be in Illinois. She's also going to be in Texas. Go to our website, ignitinghope.com, for specific details on that. Hey, if you also can go there if you want to get our newsletter, you haven't gotten that, or you want to become a vision partner, or you ever want to sow a financial gift into Igniting Hope, you can find that there. We have many free resources as well. Hey, we are here at Igniting Hope Ministries in these belief gym workouts to work out our beliefs. And we are here to ignite our hope. It's very connected. Because Romans 12:2 says, be transformed by the renewing of your mind, and increasing hope, the increasing belief that the future will be better than the present, and we have the power to help make it so. Increasing hope is the evidence that we're renewing our mind with truth instead of lies. Decreasing hope in our life or an area of our life is the evidence we're renewing our mind with lies instead of truth and creating negative strongholds of victim mindset, pessimism, disappointment, regret, passivity, fear, etc. And so our hope level is the indicator of whether we're believing lies or truth. We got a lot of hope. We're believing and renewing our mind with a lot of truth. We don't have much hope. We're believing and renewing our mind with a lot of lies. And there's no condemnation if we're renewing our mind with lies. But if we don't know what our problem is, we have a real problem. I used to only renew my mind with my feelings, my past experience, and what my circumstances were telling me. The Lord said, bummer for you, because all you're going to do is keep repeating, because current mind renewal creates future experience and future feelings. You're just going to keep repeating these happenings. There's going to be a lid on your life, and you're probably going to call it your personality, your gift mix, God's preordained plan for your life. You'll just say, Satan, you're under attack. Satan is holding you back. No, really, what's happening is our beliefs are holding us back. Our hope level determines our influence level, and he who has the most hope is the most influence. That's why having hope for people is so vital. Because if we don't have hope for the people within our lives, if we don't believe they can change, if we don't believe they have a good future, then we inadvertently become part of the problem. And remember too, the joy of the Lord is our strength. A merry heart is good like medicine. My strength and longevity is directly, and my personal health is directly connected to the joy and merry heart that I walk in. My spiritual load-bearing capacity is in direct proportion to the level of joy in my life. Woo! And I found this, and it's probably true for you, this is just not a convenient season to be radically joyful. It's just not convenient. I've never found a convenient season to be radically joyful. There's always a reason why this season is not a good one. And again, I get it. We're mourning and we weep with those who weep, and we're not just pretending we don't have issues, or we're not pretending there's not problems. But the joy of the Lord is my strength. I don't need strength in the middle of the battle. I don't need strength at the end of the battle when all those uncertainties and problems are over. I need strength now. And we stir up joy through thanksgiving, delighting in the Lord, believing truth. There's a lack of joy and hope. Let me put it this way. A perspective of joy and hope is the fruit of good beliefs. Again, we're all on a journey. But I'll say it again, if we don't know what our problem is, we have a real problem. Well, thank you for listening, watching. God bless you as part of our Igniting Hope family.